house, and it is called Brunch. Behind the church lurched him, staunch, paunch raunchy and rank, a blank plank, plunk punk, drunk and defunct, he pants, snuck and touched, untucked for top Sunday skirts. They fucked in the muck, out back until he quacked against the bark of the birch as she plucked that spunk from his sack he was stuck, admiring her, the quagmire that relaxed atop him and spat. Hurts, don't it? You will, won't it? You won't sit still, well, we'll go downhill, down, heel boy. What else would you do without me? You're strewn about my knees as dogs are damp with fleas. And I don't mean to tease, only pleasely, supine and divinely demean you. Lie still, bleat like the stuck lamb of a man that you are, debuckled and debauchled beneath this holy, cuckolded birch tree. I started at 8, right? That's the thing? Okay. Time is the thing. Linear time. Okay, I'm gonna take you to a lighter place before we go to a dark place. Ready? I would like to also maybe put out a brief trigger warning for my next poem after this one, so if you're not like in a cool place, you could just like go outside or something. And it's not intensely graphic, the next poem, but it deals with some sexual abuse and sadness, so FYI. But right now, we're gonna talk about the XFiles, which is my new favorite thing. I know it's been around for a long time, and I'm watching it in order right now, so I wrote a poem. Really? Awesome. What season are you on?
I'm just starting to eat.
You're ahead of me. I just started season 6, and it's... So this is called I Want to Believe. This is just like that X-Files episode, you know, the one where Mulder has faith, the one where Scully is skeptical, you know, the one where he asks her to do the autopsy and she asks, and what are you gonna do? And he exits on an intriguing one-liner. It's kind of like the one where he almost finds his sister only to lose her again, or where he sees all the phenomena, chases the suspects, discovers clones, while Scully waits for toxicology results from the lab back at headquarters and reports to Skinner on the validity of the work. It's clearly like the one where everything blurry is brought into focus by clicking enhance, and you can finally identify the perpetrator. It's exactly like the one where they're this close to exposing the biggest lie of all, and the cancer man takes it away. It's like the one where they're partners because of their differences, because they debunk each other's theories while they can't ignore the fact that they're both sexy as hell. He says the truth is out there, and you tell me it'll be okay. Her reports remain inconclusive, and neither will ever have enough proof to give up their investigation. All right, so one of my favorite things about poems is the really hard ones happen when you don't want them to. And so I was learning how to play guitar a year ago, and going through some rough family stuff, because that happens. Families are hard, we all have our shit. And it was finals week, and I was totally overwhelmed, and I was like, you know what, I'll take a break, and I'll like restring my new guitar with some new strings. It'll be really relaxing. It was not relaxing at all. It was really fucking hard, and I broke a string, and then I had a complete meltdown. So, but then I wrote a poem, which is what is great about meltdowns. So this is called Sixth String. E. I admit, today I broke the first guitar string I replaced without help. Held the two halves in my hands, stared at the kink I think I put there, cranking it without slack. It hangs like an ancient whisker in the sagacious cheek of our history, a blood tie to my family. Cynics of the basements and bunkers hunkered down for the long haul. B. I stole so many black elastic hair ties from my sisters, Back when we obsessively braided each other's hair into tiny piles of dreads to pass the time. Esther was the eldest, her hair all corkscrews, willing to curl into weave even at 13. Jessica, the youngest, had stick-smooth strands before brown rows of wood panel eyes. We used to tease her, saying she was full of shit, and it fit with feces, the nickname Lydia and I gave her. G. My grandmother didn't stop her husband when he took their daughters to his bed, but when her granddaughter Jessica still believed in Santa Claus, she gave her a bell from his sleigh, with a big piece of fishing line left dangling and frayed at the ends. My mother is frozen taut in all our photographs from the mall, getting our picture taken on his lap. D. I have Jessica's sleigh bell tied to my toe, and every step jingles apology. See, she and I shared bunk beds. See, she was asleep but still with me when our uncle pawed apart the threads of my sweater. That sin-nosed snapped string, that slack, blaming, hanging like a noose, hand-woven and helpless like me. I was born with black hair, but now I bleach it. A. Today, I find the fennel flavor of our family web in my bed sheets. Those sticky tendrils hang from my head, withering in the wind where some callous kid walked through, left those broken things so thin. There was only one high E in the set, and all but two of us are still tethered to that same hollow chest. I guess Esther and Jessica frayed long before they left. E. How ridiculous the unfinished draft scene, knowing you could choke because I don't know a damn thing about chest compressions or how to get my lips to give life back or testify as to what really happened. I said that was the first string, but last summer when we were last under one roof, I tried to tune Mom's blue guitar, the one Esther, or was it Jessica, gave her for her birthday, the one she never learned to play. The plastic strings were muffled with so much dust, the low E busted immediately and I froze, posed in shocked mockery until we all broke into cackles over our wine. We didn't spill any that time. Thank you. How are you guys doing?
Yes.
Yeah? That's all right? Okay, good. I have like two to three more poems for you this evening. I think I can fit three. Okay, I'm gonna do three.
You can fit 5 if you want.
Oh, thank you. You're so generous, Lynn. I have a newer version of an older poem that didn't make it into the book, but I like a lot. So I'll read that one and then end with a couple of closers. Wow, so many pages. This is about my dad, and it's called Notes on the Grand Canyon. 1. At my earliest, you are 2 pillars of knee and shin. With fat fingers, I slipped down the sweep of your denim creases. My toes found footholes around your shoelaces. Your metamorphic body warm with the dust and bricks you pasted into walls. I scaled you like any vertical surface. Never reached the summit. 2. The only time I had you to myself, you were watering the strawberry garden behind your trailer. Inside it, the rest of the children rinse off the desert rust. The sun bled oranges around us. You explained your magic. How one hose could foster so many channels, that they would all grow through this irrigation. 3. I had a picture from which I could study the creases of your forehead. Mapped you out in those afternoons when I still lived in Utah. Traced cliffs on your canine teeth. Tried to make the muscles twitch around your unchecked eyelashes. Those old growth forests I was always trying to protect. 4. Are all children topographical? All their parents' plateaus? I I thought I was an echo of you, a wider outline of a parallel lip. She said I'd have your pinky toes, stubby and cropped by an ignorant nail. So were my stunted hands also dug up from your earth? 5. On your edges, I estimate how hard I'd have to kick to scale your chasm. Worry about my legs cracking upon impact, about how to remain then, how to crawl towards that stream I'd heard so much about. A streak of azure running through your gap of slack, your mumbling mouth. 6. Father, without the desert, you wouldn't exist. I test the gulf with my voice, with only echoes and whistled wind, only dirt for a daughter's dry mouth. One day, I will be excavated. Found, fossilized within your canyon, they examine the shape of my fractured fibula, lay the bones next to yours, and think they know. They'll say, we're family. I got 2 more, and then I'm very excited to hear more of your words this evening. What was weird about writing the book is I kept trying to write a poem called Colluvium, and then it was never done. And I had to print the thing, so I printed the thing, but then later I was like, here it is! So I'm very happy to share it with you guys tonight. This is called Colluvium. Don't call it a landslide. Call it a cascade, if you must name it. The fracture won't stand there forever. It spins itself smooth of you. The detritus, rich with nutrients, despite the frost action and soil creep. So how does that charismatic rhizome find holes to take hold in, mold its roots around? We're not supposed to be balloons, but colluviums, waste in landfill, wistful for landscapes. If only we knew how to fall upon the mountain instead of pretending we're sure-footed. I bet it would feel like flying long enough to believe for more than pebbles that leapt. I bet it would feel intentional, like blood flow after tourniquets release. You guys are wonderful. This has been really great. One more thing. Here's a quick thing. In probably a new body of my work. It is called Potato Problem. There is problem, says Marek, the man from Poland I met in Port Townsend at the old fort. But also, he says, but also, I hear. He taught me about the beetle I discovered at his feet. He said it was a potato bug. He taught me what they called it in Poland. Something like sunchuk. I had to pronounce it twice, but now I don't remember. It comes and it eats all the potatoes, he recalls. Its thumbnail body and leaflet feelers confuse him. There's a problem. We admire its stripes. It's jagged, black next to white, next to black, encapsulated. In contrast, he says, there is depth. But also, he is surprised when I tell him to write his story. He doesn't believe this generation is listening, that we do not care about the Iron Curtain or the blacklist, his white bathtub bed, or how his daughter's face, wrapped in gauze with swollen brain, stated, we all will recover, Papa. How he did not recognize her then. Marek is not sure. Maybe this is potato beetle, maybe no. He picks it up and we search for a white space to set it down on again. Thank you guys so much.